Welcome back. Today's video is going to be my first EDC status video. I can't say an update video because this is the first one. But this, what you see on the table, is typically what I have in my pockets and on my neck and my wrist every day, or close to every day. It's kind of a lot of stuff, but I wear cargo pants, so it works. I say close to every day because on some days, like Sunday, I wear slacks and not cargo pants. So a lot of this stuff ends up going into a laptop bag so that I can still have it accessible, but it's not necessarily on my person. So I'm just going to start and go through each thing and talk about why I have it. But before I do that, I'd like to talk a little bit about why to carry something and why you should choose a tool to have with you. I work at a store, a retail store, and one of the things we sell is pepper spray, and people often come in and say, well, what is the best one? What's the best pepper spray to have? And my answer to that question is always the same. Same thing with a knife, and same thing with a gun, and same thing with a flashlight or a sharp stick or any sort of tool, especially one that you're using for self-defense. It all boils down to these two questions. Do you have it with you, and can you use it? Take pepper spray, for example. If you're buying a pepper spray canister for your daughter, you want her to be safe. So you get her the best pepper spray out there, and it's this cool, blactical looking thing that is super hot, very potent, and fast deployment and everything, all of that good stuff. It's the perfect canister. If she doesn't want to have it on her keys because it's black and scary looking, that's the wrong model for her. If she would rather have something cute and flowery and pink, they make those so that she can actually carry it with her and have something that she's going to have with her. And the second question, can you use it? If you go out and buy something that's super expensive and you want this to be a one-time purchase for the next 5 years, and you're not going to use it, actually try it, then it's kind of a waste of money. Because I've seen it, and it's kind of sad. I've seen a lot of women especially, they feel like they need to protect themselves, which is good, and they go out to buy some pepper spray, which is good, and they go out and they choose something that's going to be effective, which is good, and that's where they leave it. And they'll throw it in their purse, for example, and say, well, now I'm protected, now I'm safe. And that's not true at all. Without any sort of training or practice, they may not realize that it takes too long, if somebody is attacking you, to try and fish through the black hole that is most of the women's purses I've ever encountered, and try and find that pepper spray that you bought 4 years ago, and hope that it still works, and hope that you can figure out in a time of duress how to disengage the safety mechanism and then spray it in someone's face, having never tried aiming that before. It's incredibly dangerous. So I try to tell people who come in to buy the pepper sprays, there's like a new user kit. It comes with a practice canister that's basically water, but it deploys exactly the same. So that gives them an opportunity to practice. Well, how fast can I get this out of a pocket? Or should I already have it in my hand? How far away can I be? How is it going to spray? Same thing with a gun. I carry, as you can see here, a Glock. It's a Glock 19. It's a mid-size 9mm handgun. It's sort of big for concealed carry, but in the world of handguns, there are much larger guns. And I've heard so many people say, oh, you need a 45 caliber. I have this giant whatever pistol. And I'll ask them, okay, that's great. Where is it? How are you concealing it? And they say, oh, well, it's in my truck. And I think to myself, well, fat lot of good that does you in your truck. That's not going to help you at all. So when it comes to purchasing a gun, do you have it with you? Yes, it's nice to have a big gun, and they're fun to shoot. But are you going to have it with you? Is that something you're willing to go to the effort of concealing? Second question, can you use it? You may have an FN57, which is a fantastic gun. I wish I had one myself. But if you can't afford to buy the ammo, if you don't take it to the range and practice with it, in a situation of duress where your hands are shaking like jello, are you going to be able to hit your target? Or are you more likely to hit someone else? Can you manipulate all of the features of your weapon in a situation of high stress? Or can your attacker take that weapon from you because you forgot to take the safety off, and they're going to use it on you? In that situation, having your weapon with you has become more dangerous because you can't use it. So all of these things, I ask myself, do you have it with you and can you use it? Now, some of this stuff is obviously just for fun. But that's my little spiel about choosing something to have with you. So let's get into it. This is my Glock 19. Now, go ahead and clear it. See, clear there. My Glock 19 has seen a lot of wear. I've been carrying this weapon for close to 5 years now, I guess. And it's daily carry. It's one of the reasons I chose the Glock, because as much as I love the Kimbers and think they're beautiful, gosh dang it, I'd hate to do this to the finish of a Kimber. And if I ever end up using my Glock in a defensive situation and it spends the rest of my life in a storage room for evidence, I would be sad if that was a $1,500 pistol. So I've got a Glock with a Hogue grip on it. The Hogue grip is sort of new. I've just been kind of experimenting with it. I do kind of like it, but I haven't shot extensively with it yet. I have some laser light rear sights on there. And let me tell you guys, this is a piece of garbage. You push the button once, you've got a red light. Push it twice, it strobes, which is a cool idea. I liked the idea of the laser light, and that's what sold me on it. My friend was selling it for super cheap, but I shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have spent the money. It's a piece of garbage. It can't stand up to recoil. Sometimes it'll turn on and just drain the batteries, and you don't know. Also, the light isn't bright enough to see during the daytime. In daylight, you can't see that red light. I've taken it to the range to try and shoot with it, and you can't. Really, I see one use for a laser on a weapon, and that's for shooting from the hip. Essentially, most combative situations that I've heard about happen in less than 7 yards, or people offer their own statistics about that. But most of the time, your attacker's right on top of you, and you don't necessarily have time to set up the perfect shot and get your perfect sight picture. So I like the idea of having a laser for that, and for no other reason. I think I can't think of a practical reason to have a laser other than shooting from the hip. That being said, if you're buying a laser, don't buy this one. I haven't swapped it out yet because when I got this laser, I was working at a facility that had a machine shop, and my friend that did QA, or QC, I should say, quality control for the machine shop, was able to use depth gauges and mill presses to press these sights into place and perfectly center them on the slide, so that's cool. And it still works as a regular sight picture, as you can see there, which I like. Other than that, the laser's useless. So I carry it in a crossbreed. This is the crossbreed Super Tuck, and I love this holster. As you can see, it's well worn. It's shaped like my hip when I wear it, but I love this holster. It conceals well. I can tuck a shirt in behind the hooks. And it has good retention once it's in there. Obviously, when my hip isn't pressing against the weapon, I don't know if I can get this on film, there's very little retention. It would slide out. But once your hip is in there, or it's in your pants and it's pressing on it, there's plenty of retention there. You're not going to have any problems. So I love my crossbreed holster. I wear it as often as I can. It is difficult to conceal a Glock 19 because it's sort of large, and you get a lot of printing back here at where the magazine sits. I have a pair of headphones. These are Sony. They're like $20, and the reason I like them is because they go all the way around my ear, and so they don't fall out very easily. I got these when I started running a few years ago, and I just haven't chosen another type of headphone since then. I've had this watch. This is the Timex Iron Man. And I've had this watch for, Happy Halloween, by the way. Had this watch for probably close to 8 years. And it's been through the ringer. As you can see, most of the lettering has come off. I have a little bit of an E left on the Timex name itself. My buttons are dying. Let's see. Focus. Please? Yeah, you can see the finish is scratching off. And this watch, let me tell you, has been a trooper. I have been skydiving in this watch. I've been rock climbing in this watch. I've been scuba diving in this watch. I've been shooting in this watch. I've done yard work in this watch. I've beaten the crap out of it. And there are scratches. You can see kind of on the surface a bunch of scratches there. It's had a rough life. And it's been great, actually. Not until the last probably 2 weeks has it ever given me trouble. And then the last 2 weeks, I'll show you what's happening. I think it's dying because in the last 2 weeks, when I hit the light button, it dims the screen. You can see that. And it dims the screen so much that I can't see it at night, which is the whole purpose for having a light on your watch. So it's time for a new watch, but this has been a trooper. The Iron Man from Timex. Great watch. This is an Altoids survival tin. I will do a video on this later. This was a gift from my sister, actually. She put this together, and I thought it was a great idea. I'll pull it apart for you guys in a video later on. But lately, I've been carrying this. Again, cargo pants. They're beautiful things. My wallet was another gift. I love my wallet. I'm not going to open it up because it's got some information in there on me. But I've enjoyed this wallet. I'm not really a wallet connoisseur. It's nice. It's leather. It still smelled like leather for a long time, which I enjoyed. My keys. I drive a Dodge Charger. That's my little key fob. I have a little Sac Classic on my keys, which I love. It's great to have that little backup knife and other tools available to me. So I love having that. I keep it on a little Night Eyes S-Beaner, which I love the Night Eyes company. I think they deserve a high five for all of the cool stuff that they do. So this makes it easy for me to get my knife off if I want to hand it to somebody. I was actually driving the other day, and the person I was driving with needed the knife, and so I was able to pull it off while driving. The Night Eyes little mini S-Beaner is awesome. A couple of keys for work and home, and I've got the Streamlight logo, I believe is what they call this. Great little flashlight. You've got high, medium, low, and a little strobe mode on it, and that's pretty cool. And there's a way you can switch it so that it'll do signal mode. So when you press the button, it turns on, and you release the button, it turns off. So if you're trying to use Morse code to communicate with somebody, you can. I love that little light. Came with its own little carabiner. Chapstick for my lips, obviously. I carry a lighter, and I have a lighter collection. I thought this lighter was funny because there's like a flame on the guy's finger. I have a lighter collection. I don't even smoke, but I have loved lighters ever since I was a little kid. I was enchanted by them. I like Zippos. I like all kinds of lighters, and I think they're neat. Plus, I like having the idea, or I like the idea of having a fire-starting tool on me at all times. I've also used this. I use this to trim off the fuzzies on my ties, my neckties. When they get fuzzies on them, I'll trim them off with a lighter. I carry the Streamlight MicroStream, which I picked up at work. It's like a $20 light. I think it's like 37 lumens or something. It's a great little light. I actually really love this flashlight. Lightweight, and you can pulse it fairly easily, and as you can see, it clicks on, clicks off. I will say the pocket clip stretched out a little bit, so I no longer keep it hung on the side of my pocket. I now have a separate pocket in my cargo pants that I put it in so that I don't lose it. This is one of my favorites. My Benchmade 1101, I think -1 is the blue variant. So this is my Benchmade pen that's also an extrication tool. I have the tungsten carbide glass breaker on there, which I demonstrated in one of my other videos. You can see some of the scratching on the finish. That was from breaking that car window. Now about the Benchmade 1101, I love this pen. It uses a Fisher Space Pen insert. It means you can write in super cold temperatures. You can write underwater. Not that I would ever have a reason to write underwater. But it's a great little pen insert, and I've never had a trouble with it writing. Even when the paper I'm writing on is on glass or something, and normally it doesn't provide enough friction for a ballpoint, the Fisher Space Pen still works. The cap snaps on the back. Nice and secure. And this is actually one of the difficulties of the pen. I don't know if it's just mine or if it's all of the Benchmade 1101s, but getting that back off is kind of tough sometimes, as is demonstrated now. Okay, I got that off. That was actually one of the hardest removals I've ever experienced. Usually it's not that hard. I think it has something to do with the temperature of the pen, maybe because it's been out of my pocket for a little bit. Cold, shrank a little bit on the inside, I don't know. But I love this pen. Next, we move on to the 511 Sidekick. Now this knife, I'll do a review on it later, as I will probably for most of this stuff, but it's been fun to carry a neck knife. This has been my first experience carrying a neck knife. And it has the, as you can see, the little ball chain there. It's got good retention on the sheath. It has a oxygen wrench hole there. You can see the 511 logo. Weird blade design. I'm probably going to sharpen it up and take this corner out of it. It's like a sort of a modified Tonto because it has that secondary angle on it. But it's been fun. It's been nice to have. Actually, yesterday I was wearing a Halloween costume at work, which prevented me from accessing my go-to pocket knife for the day. So I was using my neck knife for regular cutting tasks. So it's been good to have. The Benchmade Model 62 Balisong. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I'll do a review on it later. This is a toy. Yes, I do use it for cutting tasks, but mostly it's a toy. This is what I play with when I'm bored and I'm not in public and going to freak people out because people get freaked out about knives. Doesn't make sense to me, but I can respect it. So I have the Benchmade Balisong to play with when I'm bored. The Leatherman Wave, go-to tool, awesome. I love this tool. It's a good size, it's a good weight, it has the tools I need, and in contrast to my last Leatherman, which I believe was a Blast, they don't make the Blast anymore. Come on now. Don't do this to me. There we go. So the Blast was inward tools only. Focus. There we go. Inward tools only. But the Wave, I love that it has actual outward tools. I did all that work and now I move my focus. I like the fact that I have one-handed access to my knife and one-handed closure to the knife, and all of the other tools are useful as well. This knife you've seen in my sharpening video. This is the Coast FX352. I'll be doing a review on it later, and this has been a great little pocket knife. As I'll talk about in the review, it does not hold an edge as well as I'd like it to, but it's been fun to have. Great knife, great everyday do-all knife. And as a backup, I've been carrying a Dermasafe pocket razor with me because it's nice to have, you know, I've got all these, I actually have, so I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knives on me most times. So I call this a backup blade, and I have 5 knives, which is kind of silly, but it's nice to have something that is disposable, first of all, and secondly, super sharp. They're so cheap on Blade HQ. They're $2.50. They're so cheap that you can just throw one on every order you get from Blade HQ, and it doesn't hurt at all. See if it'll focus on that for you. Probably not, because it hates me. There we go. A razor blade in your pocket for if you ever need something that's just stupid sharp. There it is. It works well. So that's my EDC status. I hope it hasn't been too long. I hope it was fun for you to watch. If you have any questions about gear that I use or gear that I'm interested in using, I'd be happy to answer them. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. It means a lot to me when people give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. It makes me feel like I'm not wasting my time here. At any rate, I hope you're having a happy Halloween or had a happy Halloween and a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.